Togou is the main character of the story eating my mistakes. However, there are some things about himself and the story that aren't fully explained. First off, this whole story is an isolated experiment being conducted by Pandora and Noel to create a measure to keep the number of syntax in check. Togou himself breaks the first rule of the memory zone, which is that nothing can be created, only replicated. 90% of the story's cast are constructed out of the memories of the ones who are real. Noel was there in order to collect data on Togou's world. Mackenzie, however, is there for a more nuanced reason to gain a better understanding over the memory zone itself.
The memory zone is a complex area. It functions primarily as a data bank for the history of the universe. Yet it has a secondary purpose, as stated by Rook in the story. This place is where truths are revealed as it can, using its records and data, replicate people and events as they happened at that moment. But there is a catch to this. Those events cannot be manipulated. This means that despite characters like Rook possibly being replications, their action is dictated by the active memory of the characters. A big example would be Rook. If he is a replication, then his actions would be determined by the cognitive understandings of him from Noel and Mackenzie. Togou also would affect him, as he technically meets Rook several times, leading to the memory zone recording their interactions, thus having data on how Rook would act towards and around Togou. However, this is not fully the same for Togou's world. This is a creation of Pandora that was made due to her feeling that Togou's intended purpose was too cruel a fate, and as such, she wanted him to truly live, as opposed to stand in a perpetual cycle of conflict for an uncountable number of years. Yet because only Togou was aware of and living in the world, only his memories were used to stabilize it. This is why, despite being functional, so many glitches kept happening, and the mental strain on Togou was so taxing, he kept falling asleep. The world born in the next story, Nona, is a perfected version of the one made for Togou, created thanks to the data collected by Noel. Nona is intended to inherit this world, but she must face her own trials and tribulations first. We'll see how everything unfolds when the book is released.